So welcome back to the channel. In today's video, there's a few things I want to sort out on the Civic. It's going to be, so the headlights are all fogged up in the inside. I want to get rid of all the condensation out there, and we also have a leak in the driver's side. I'm not sure where that's coming from, so I'm going to have to strip it out, have a look where the water's coming in, and try and seal that up, because the carpet's soaking at the minute and it's just leaving a really bad smell. So what we're going to be doing is just going to be taking these headlights out, try and get rid of the condensation, as well as take the seats out. So the leak's here on this driver's side. Not sure if you can see that well, but it's on the driver's side and it's soaking wet in there. It's probably wet. This side's fine, so I guess the leak's coming from in here somewhere. And it's also in the rear part. So what I'm going to do is take the seats out, take the carpet out if I can, or lift the carpet up, and then try and sort of figure out where the water's coming in. Carpet's out. You can see it's soaking. It's all on this side. So that part's completely dry. So I'm guessing it's coming from somewhere around here. Here's the carpet. So one side's all dry, and this side is completely soaked. All that was all this was just sitting in the carpet, and you still see it's still dripping down. So we're going to try and find where it's leaking in from. I may have to remove the dash to see properly. I'm unsure yet, so I'm just going to have a look around and see if I can find out where the leak is coming from. Okay, so I have found the leak on this side, I'm pretty sure. It's up in the firewall. Silicone has cracked. So it's not leaking at all on this side, so I checked as well and I don't see any leaking. I've also sealed up this side and I'll show you that now. Right, so this side is seam sealed. I'll try get in an angle for you. It may not focus. Oh, there it is. As you can see, we seamed it up there. It's a bit messy, but I don't really care. Yeah, so I'm just going to let that dry, and then once that dry, I'm going to just put another blob on, and then that should be fully sealed. Okay, so hopefully that's that side sorted. So I've still got the carpet out. I just going to let the silicone dry for a little bit, and then maybe put another bit onto it. But I'm not going to be putting the carpet back on just yet. I'm just going to keep it off, and then once it's all dried up, take it outside, and we'll just let it sit there in the rain and see if any water will get in there overnight. And I'll come back the next morning and have a look, see if it's sorted, and then we can work from there. But next what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for the silicone to dry, I'm going to be sorting these headlights out. So you can see they've got some condensation on the inside. I want to try and get that out. So I've got it on both sides here. this one is the worst. Not sure if you can see because of the, yeah, there's a lot on there on the inside. See, that's all inside. So yeah, I'm gonna just take these out, and I'm going to try get all the water out. Probably use the heat gun and try and make all evaporate. So I'm just going to try and heat gun, and then try and get this all to evaporate in through the holes. Okay, so I ended up bringing the car back inside. I left her a couple of hours, and I went on and checked on it, and it's still leaking. So I'll show you it. I'm pretty sure it's still leaking from. I'm pretty sure it's still leaking from that little spot up there, but I can't really get to it. So I'm not sure. I have sealed it. I'm not sure if I've sealed it enough or it's just getting in from here. So what I'm going to be doing is taking this fender off, as well as I'm not sure what this piece is, but where the wiper is, take the wipers off and then lift this up, and then we may be able to see if there's water getting in there, and we can seal it up from the outside. And if not, then we can continue sealing in inside here. So I'm just going to go ahead, take the fender out, or the side, first I'm going to take the side panel off, as well as the wipers and the wiper cover. Right, so I got the sides off and the wipers off. I had a look in here, I couldn't really see anything except for the silicone. The silicone here is a bit worn, so maybe it's water's dripping down the window and then sitting here and then just leaking inside. Unless it's supposed to leak in there. The inside is now completely sealed up. However, inside's all sealed, but that means there's still water getting inside, but not getting into the next layer of firewall. So the water's probably just going to be sitting on the inside of the car. So then that's going to just keep rotting it away. So what I want to do is try and find the leak from the outside. Just then be able to fill it in, silicone it from the outside. Then there'll be no water getting inside to the first layer and sitting in there and rotting it out. I just started spraying, using the hose, spraying water everywhere to see what I was getting in. And I found in here, I'm not sure if you can see, there's where two layers of metal meet. So it's basically the firewall metal and then the two firewalls. So the outer firewall piece and then the inner, and then there's I can see there's a gap in there that's not sealed or anything. So I sprayed, I just put the hose in here and sprayed it, and of course then I could see water was getting in, even in through a new gap that where water couldn't usually, because water usually just ran down into this here, the scuttle panel, and then it would usually leak from down there in out to the bottom down below here. and then water will just sit and then gradually just seep into the little holes. I'll try to get a picture and put it up on screen so you can get an idea of what I mean. But that's what I'm going to be doing now, is I'm going to be sealing up these little holes, but I have no real access to this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grind all the way to here, grind here, bend it back, and then seal it up, and I'll be able to just put this metal back and weld it back up. You can see I just cut out the board piece out now. So what's been happening is so water's just been draining and then draining into here, which is where this panel is, wiper panel. So it just goes in, drains, the water then just sits down here, and it's meant to then drain out this here. Let me see if we can focus. It's meant to drain out this hole and then just fall down, and then just fall down here and then just down onto the ground then. But you can see water is just sitting on here as well then. So then you can see the two little peat panels where they come together. There's no silicone around them there. So the water's just sitting there, and then it's starting to slowly just drip into these holes, and then that leads into the firewall where I siliconed up. So then the water's just going to sit on that silicone and just keep wearing it away. I'm pretty sure that's how the previous one got worn down. So we want to solve the problem here. Just silicone up them holes, and we should be waterproof, and the water should be getting in between the two layers, and then the inside shall last longer too. I've got it sealed up now. I'm just going to let that dry for a bit. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to have a lip on the top piece, because then the water won't drain properly. So you want to make sure you just leave the lip as is. Try not to get any sealer on there, because then the water will just sit inside this piece and won't drain properly. So we just leave it like that, let it dry, and then we can test. We can put the hose on and test that out. Right, so I took the car out and put the hose on the parts that I sealed, and I checked in the interior, and it's actually sorted the leak, so there's no water getting into the little cracks of the firewall and then sitting in there. So it's sealed on both sides now, inside and outside. So I would recommend, if you have a leak, to check them two areas out. If it is coming from there, I'd recommend doing it from the outside, because you don't want water going inside and then sitting in between the two between the firewall, into between the two metal pieces, because then if it's cold, freezes, it will expand and keep expanding, cracking everything in there, and then it will eventually leak on the inside. So it's best to sort the issue from the outside first, and the water's getting in, so it's nice and tight. What I'm going to do now, just put the car completely back together, and then we should be good to move on to the next thing.